New fans, bro.
Hand his position sand. It's leaving. Look, for Tre Tucker to really impact the league and allow his name to say, hey, he's a fixture, I think he really needs to work on his route tree.
All that matters is today. The present, man, 3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us.
Hey, no cheers!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
That's what we gonna be about, winning. You feel me? What's good? What's good? What's goody in your hoodie? It's your boy Black, the quarterback with my nizzle for sizzle. Pizzle.
What's cracking?
That way? Yeah, Pizzle. Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like something ain't right. Yeah, I'm about to say something ain't right.
Yeah, it ain't right. You gotta switch us over.
No, I got it. What's good with you guys? Welcome to Bart, the Bay Area Raider Talk. And we are doing our first live. Well, no, we did a reaction to the to the to the to the first preseason game. You know, everybody done got it out their system. This is In Your Feelings Monday. I coined this In Your Feelings Monday because usually this is the day that the Raider Nation just releases all their feelings, and it kind of holds true because, like, for a couple Mondays I've had people crash out. But, you know, so we're getting ready for a new week. And a lot of you guys seen the video from Steve Smith Sr. So Pizzle sent me this video, and we're going to go over it pretty much. And to see if you agree with him. Now, I got big respect for Steve Smith Sr. We just called him Steve Smith, but he became senior later on. But I got big respect for him, but I kind of disagree with him on this video. Let's see if you guys agree or disagree with him and take this ride with us too. So Pizzle. One of the things is it's a foregone conclusion that Mendoza's going to play sometime this year. Do you think that Mendoza's going to get in at some point this year?
No, not. I don't believe starting. I think maybe if we're blowing a team out or we're getting blown out or something, unless maybe Cousins gets hurt or something. I don't really know. I don't know. They said that they were planning on sitting them all year. So
yeah, barring injury. Yeah, barring injury. Of course, yes.
But you know, they say they're going to sit him. Why am I going to doubt what they've been saying? You know, I don't. You know, everybody says, "Oh, he looks great, and he just needs to do this, and then we're going to start him or what." I haven't heard Kubiak or anybody say that. I hear a lot of people.
I heard Kubiak say it's his job to lose. I mean, Kubiak is kind of like breadcrumbing everybody. He kind of let people understand. He told everybody that really Mendoza was going to play, but people wasn't hearing that. And then it got right before camp, out of nowhere, he was like, Cousins is the starter. He's going to get hella reps. And then everybody started talking about, well, that's just for camp. And I'm like, no, man. No, it's not just for camp. Me and Pizzle have been saying this since like April 3rd. Like, this is not no quarterback competition. And so now it's almost foregone that Kirk Cousins is going to start the season. And then he comes out in the preseason, plays well. And then now, you know, people are like, well, he's only going to play some amount of games. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, barring injury. Like I was saying, I think Kirk Cousins is going to play as long as until the wheels fall off. I mean, granted, if we go like 2-8, 2-9, okay, I can see that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking that's what's going to happen. But in the event that something like that happen, okay, I can see it, because we can win 2 games with Mendoza. You know what I'm saying? But if we around 5, 6, 7 wins, we're gonna ride with Kirk Cousins as we should. So I don't think that's a foregone conclusion that he's gonna start all year. But we're gonna talk about this wide receiver room, the highly debated wide receiver room. And you heard Steve Smith was talking about my boy Tre Tucker, talking about this was his hands. His job is seeping through right now. And I'm just not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. I've been telling people Tre Tucker is the wide receiver one. Stop saying we don't have a wide receiver one, because he is, and he's our wide receiver one for many reasons. Because he's the leader in our locker room. He's going to be the go-to guy right now. So I'm not saying that might not change, but right now I think that we're relying on him to be the leader in this wide receiver room. What you think?
Well, I agree with that too. I mean, he is a seasoned veteran here, right? But it's also going to be about, if Jalen Naylor's going to push him, during this camp season and see it, and during this preseason, and see how I think it's really between them two, right? To be honest, so as long as Tre Tucker keeps doing what he's doing, and he's been working on his route tree and making his routes, running his routes crisp, and being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there, there's no reason why he shouldn't be getting the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with that. And based on this first game, Tucker was the guy. Now, because we didn't see any catches from Naylor, and I'm not saying this is going to be indicative of what our play calling is going to be totally, but I do think it's going to be it to some degree. And we're going to look at some film today, and I'm going to show you guys what I see. And from what I see is not what I'm hearing out of Steve Smith Sr.'s mouth. So one of the first things that they were talking about was Kubiak doesn't have a JSN. That may be true, but we do got a Brock Bowers. See, they didn't have a Brock Bowers on their squad. And so the thing about it is we don't have to match up piece for piece for piece for piece like carbon copy. You know what I'm saying? We can have similar offense, but not the same. Because I think Kubiak is the type that's going to match up what we have and match it up against what we're going against, and then use that as, use the strengths of what we have. We don't have a JSN, but we do have a Brock Bowers. They didn't have a Brock Bowers, so they use a JSN. So we're going to use a Brock Bowers, and we're going to use the other receivers to help him out. So we can have the same. We can have it being similar without being the same.
Yeah, agreed. Or like I said, they could, they could use Tucker in that position, or even Naylor in that position. Maybe that will be Naylor's position. Maybe he will be JVK or whatever his name is. But
JSN.
JSN, yeah. So
yeah, that's true, because we can, and there might be times that we use them as like they were using them, because it's not like a JSN specific thing. It's a role inside the offense. And so this is not a cookie cutter situation here.
Exactly. You can put anybody, pretty much anybody that wants to catch the ball can go in that position. And as long as they catch the ball and can run the right route and be where they're supposed to be on time, they're going to succeed in this offense. This offense is developed not to have a specific dominating guy. It helps if you do, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't run on that premise. It just runs on the guy that's in that position, catching the ball, doing his job.
Yeah, because it's crazy you say that, because they got rid of DK Metcalf. They literally got rid of DK Metcalf. Right. And he's a obvious number one wide receiver. So it goes to your point, like you're saying, it's not predicated on having this dominant wide receiver one. It's all about matchups. So Naylor,
Naylor's gonna have matchups on 1 week. Tucker's gonna have matchups on the next week. Bowers is gonna have a match. I mean, it's an everybody eats offense on a weekly basis. Everybody changes unless they're able to. Because every game is a different script. It's a different defense. It's different guys have different teams have better players at different positions every week. Right. So the game plan's got to change, but stay the same, right?
Yeah, You're right, and we're gonna scheme it up differently every week. So you can't. That's why it was imperative that we have versatility.
Right.
So Steve Smith brought up Naylor, and he said that he reminds him of Owen Daniels. That was his comp, and you don't pay attention to him, and then boom, all of a sudden he has 1,000 yards. So that's what S3. I'm gonna call Steve Smith Senior S3. That's what he was saying pretty much how Naylor is going to be. Now, Owen Daniels, granted, he was a tight end. He played for the Texans, he played for the Ravens, and he played for the Broncos. And he's a Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl 50, two-time Pro Bowler. And so he really thinks that Naylor is going to be the top dog in this offense. And this is where the hate started a little bit. Started hating on Jack Bech, and I can see why you hate on Jack Bech, but then he started hating on Tucker. I don't think he liked Tucker so much. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and he says that he does like that guy.
Well, yeah, that's true.
He did say that he did like Tucker and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden he's like, and I could understand, but he's also, he hasn't had exactly the best consistent quarterback play either. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys want to say give AOC a chance. How about give Tre Tucker a chance, give him somebody to work with?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts. That's facts. Yeah, so he said, Black, we got another wideout. Yeah, we got Brown. I think he's a camp body, as Steve Smith say, camp body. I think he's a camp body, but we did have bring somebody in, so I did see that. Raider first down, my brother JD, thank you. 10 jewels. This is the first time I got jewels, so thank you. I promise you guys that was the first Cash App, the first person to send jewels. You guys gonna get some free merch when we drop our merch. You will get free merch. So I do appreciate that. I gotta keep you guys in mind. And Pizzle and I, we really appreciate it because we really work hard at this. And as a content creator yourself, JD, you understand it. So I appreciate you, brother. I'll be glad when I can return the favor. Return the favor. He said, Jay, how many is that? 16 wide receivers on the roster? Yeah, for real. So Tre Tucker, let's talk about Tre Tucker, wide receiver 1. So he said he followed him. He called him a 3rd round pick when really he's a 4th round pick. And he essentially says that his job, Tucker, is only to take the top off the defense, which we've seen Tucker do. So I don't disagree with that part. He is the most experienced in the room. As I was saying, like when you're usually the most experienced and you kind of set the tone in that room, you're the wide receiver 1, but he said he lacks production. And so I can see why he would say that, being that this is last year was his 3rd year, got 700 yards. You like to see him get like 1,000 yards or close to 1,000 yards. So you can kind of say he lacked production. So this is kind of the year for Tucker. I mean, this is his contract year. I'm expecting him to get around the 950, 1,000 yard mark. But like you said, this is not predicated on getting one receiver 1,000 yards. But I think he will be a byproduct of getting 1,000 yards unless Naylor just really, really steps up. So I don't know, but I'm kind of confident that I will see Tucker get close to 1,000 yards this year.
What up, Willie Wayne?
What's up,
I
Willie
think
Wayne?
Tucker's got a chance of pulling off 1,000-yard season or better. But like you said, it depends on how Kirk Cousins is dishing out the ball. You know what I mean? Because supposedly he's really picky, and if you're not where you're supposed to be, you're not going to get the ball. So he's got to be crisp on his routes, on time, and be where he needs to be. So if you can't do those 3 things, he ain't going to get the ball.
That's, man, you hitting the nail on the head today, Pizzle, for sure. And one thing he said, he's waiting for Tucker for it to all to come together because he has a limited route tree. And that's one of the things that you heard about Tucker, that he's one-dimensional. He can just run deep. And we saw something different in the preseason game, which tells me that Kubiak is leaning on him to do some things, which I said earlier, I see him using these receivers similar to how Tom Brady had Amendola and Walker and all that. Like, use them in the immediate routes and then to open up for Brock Bowers and things like that. And we're gonna look at some tape here very soon, and I'm gonna show you why I say that. Now
Hold on. Let's address Tracy Tucker's thing right here.
Yeah, hold on.
Not everybody gets used in some offenses. Look at Marvin Harrison Jr.'s offense over there. They're not using everybody over there. When you have a main wide receiver like Metcalf and all these guys, they get the ball predominantly.
Mm-hmm. And like Justice for 12, what's up? My brother said, what's up with the Tucker hate? He lacks production. Get him the ball when he was open. So he said, get him the ball. He was open so much last year. Yeah. And so let's talk about that. Go ahead.
That's what I was just saying. Give him a chance with a competent quarterback. Like I think Cousins, probably looked at some of the film last year already and realizes that he's open a lot. Particularly on running straight lines down the field. And, he's just didn't get the opportunity to get the ball because our O-line wasn't very good. And if our O-line isn't very good, you can't throw the ball deep. I mean, you got to be able to, that's why the run comes in. And once you can start dominating the run, then the offensive line, they're going to be able to stand up to that because they're going to be afraid they're going to be running the ball, so they'll be hesitant, and that'll open up the backside of the linebackers and bring one of the safeties down because they're going to have to put 9 or 10 in the box.
So he always talked down on Tre Tucker. See, I didn't know this. So now it only makes sense. Now it makes sense. Thank you, Tracy.
Mm-hmm. Thank
you. Now it makes sense. And JD, I saw your comments about Mendoza. We'll get to that for sure because I do want to address that. So let's talk about the limited route tree. This is the definition for the limited route tree. It usually means a wide receiver relies primarily on pure physical traits like elite speed or size, rather than nuanced, sharp-cutting route running. Teams often scheme these players on specific patterns like go routes, slants, and screens to maximize their strengths and mask technical route running limitations. Now, let me tell you some receivers that had a limited route tree. Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Moss had a limited route tree. He wasn't running across no middle. He wasn't running that many posts. He was running 9 routes and quick patterns. He was very limited. You didn't see him running pearls and choice routes and all that other stuff. Another wide receiver, DK Metcalf, very limited. Another wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, early in his career, limited route tree. The good thing about Tyreek Hill, though, is he developed into being able to run different routes. That's what made him, when he went to Miami and he developed more of his route tree, that made him even more dangerous. And I didn't know that one of the ex-Raiders said this about Tre Tucker a couple years ago, that they call him Little Tyreek. So hopefully he can fit that mold and establish more of his route tree and not be one-dimensional. Now, to Steve Smith's credit, though, he did say that's not a bad thing, which I agree. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just up to the coach to scheme you open. No different than Randy Moss. Randy Moss was upset with the Raiders because we were using them wrong. We were just having them go on 9 routes, and the defense was rolling over that way. Then when he went to the Patriots, they put him in the slot sometime, created different matchups, and you saw what happened. They broke the record. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that you have limitations in your route tree.
Right? For sure.
Yeah. So but he's saying, so S3 was basically saying Tucker is he's just like Forrest. Just run, Forrest. What you gonna do? Run for it, run. That's all he's saying Tucker is. And I'm saying Tucker is not gonna be that guy this year. He's not gonna be that guy. So he believes that Naylor is gonna be the wide receiver to scheme around. Although that didn't look that way in our first preseason game. But it could be, but I'm just saying, I think that we can scheme around a lot of our wide receivers, not just one, maybe like all of them.
And the tight ends too. We can scheme around pretty much all of them too. Not just Bowers. Mayer's decent, right? We just seen him catch a touchdown. So he's lost a little bit of weight. He looks good. So we just gotta hurry up and wait.
So let's take a look at what Steve Smith had to say about immediate route running.
Yeah. Jalen Naylor is the guy where the scheme and his ability to separate and this West Coast system offense provides a precise intermediate route runner to prevail as he's going to be the number one wide receiver.
So he believes that Naylor's going to be that number one wide receiver. What's up with Cool Kev? Justice for 12 making a good point. He said, it's okay if wideouts have limited routes. Baseball pitchers don't always have three great pitches right. Just know what you do well and use them things well at the right time. For sure. Webb, what's up with you, Webb? You see, Randy Moss for sure had great cardio with the Raiders. 25 gassers a game. You ain't lying. How long would Dante Thornton be out? I don't know. I think he have a hamstring issue. I don't think he's going to get cut or nothing. So I think they're just kind of leaning into the caution of error right there. They don't want to have him go out there and blow that thing early. And then it's like, oh, my gosh, So I think they're just kind of letting him, come along without having him being injured. But he needs to show up in one of these preseason games, if not this coming one. So let's take a look at Tucker's tape during the first preseason game this year. All right, let's take a look at Tucker. I don't know if you guys seen it. I meant to circle this, but let's look at Tucker and his blocking. We're going to start there. As a wide receiver, you got to be able to block, especially in this system. I said that a long time ago. If you're going to succeed in this Kubiak system, you're going to have to block. Let's look at Tucker at the far right of the screen. He's walking into motion, and watch how he goes find his man in between the wash. You see how he go in there, finds his man to block. And that's what you need. Now, my thing is, are wide receivers, less experienced wide receivers, able to find those matchups? They have a hard enough time remembering how to line up and knowing the plays and all that other stuff. That is just veteran, just being on the field, understanding how, the speed of the game, who you're supposed to go block and all that other stuff. That's next level. Let's take another look at Tre Tucker. Tucker's in motion here. Now, if you see he goes into motion, he already has the leverage for an out route. And in this route, I believe Kirk Cousins called this for him. And watch how he goes, takes this out route. He already has the leverage. He has the separation. He's open. Kirk Cousins, easy passing lane, throws it to him. Now watch how he uses his speed to run away from the defender to get another 4 or 5 yards. Let's take a look at that again. That, to me, that says a lot. That's really, really good right there, to have the ability to take a simple out route and turn it into 8 additional yards after the catch. Because you see that is zone right there. They bumped him down. The defender bumped down. Tucker runs, he stays with him because nobody else is in that zone. So he just goes with him and he gets additional yards. Look at Tucker on the out route. Let's take a look at that again. So the beautiful. So look at the leverage on Tucker. He at the top of the screen. He if you as a receiver, when you go line up, you have to look and see where the defender is.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's showing inside shade, so he's taking away inside routes. But that means outside routes are open. So now
he's on the outside shoulder. He's on the outside shoulder of the defender.
Exactly. He's on the outside shoulder of the defender. So look how he pushes up the field. He creates separation off the get off, and he's pressing up the field, and then he breaks it off. Nicely timed pass, and it gets him the ball. You don't have to get a whole bunch. You end up getting 6 yards right there. Excellent by Tre Tucker. Remember, a lot of people say Tre Tucker wasn't getting separation.
Excellent throw by Kirk Cousins right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The timing. Because if you throw this late, it's a pick. You got
exactly.
This is all timing right here. It's not necessarily arm strength. He's got to throw that before he breaks on the ball. If he don't, it's going to the house.
The other way.
If it's late, it's going the other way.
So now, see Tre Tucker, 2 catches, 21 yards. Now watch the gravity of Tre Tucker now on this drive. Now they're getting Tre Tucker involved. Now watch what ends up happening because of Tre Tucker. Tucker goes into motion from the bottom of the screen. Now watch how he goes inside. Now watch how he takes look how many men go to Tre Tucker now. There's 2 standing by him, and there's a 3rd one behind him. And if you see, look at Mayer wide open, standing on the 10-yard line because the defense did not know who to switch with. The gravity, it's called gravity. Tucker created gravity on this drive because of play calling, and that left Mayer wide open. And look at Mayer get this ball. Only got 1 man to beat. Tight end on corner or safety. You love to see that. And now that we have a more physically fit, a quicker Mayer, watch this. Easy money. Easy money. Think about that, bro. Tre Tucker. So even when he wasn't getting the ball, he affected the defense. And that's not even having Brock Bowers on the field. So imagine if Brock Bowers is on the field too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So he had 2 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards. Gravity. He created gravity just with 2 out routes. With just 2 out routes. What you think about that, bro? On one drive, right? Yeah. So Tucker. So what Steve Smith was saying is Tucker's going to be this guy that just runs down the field, clear out everybody, and Bech is going to work his magic to get Naylor open. Now, even in that first series that we saw that looked so well, it looked nothing like what Steve Smith is saying. I didn't see Tucker run down the field past 15 yards before he got the ball. So we're going to use him in the immediate routes. And that doesn't even have to just be him. It could be Naylor. It could be Benson. It could be Bech. So it could be Bowers. And like you said, it could be Mayer. That's why we have this unpredictable offense that I'm so excited about. What about you, bro?
A lot of people don't think these guys are good weapons, but they are. If you just think about it, all they have to do is do what they do, is catch the ball. They're all pretty fast. They're all decent. All they got to do is get a guy that can get them the ball. Well, everybody was worried about the old man He didn't look too old the other day, did he?
Oh no. Oh no. He didn't look too old like
He
that.
don't look. Yeah, he don't look 38 out there. They
Right.
got
So so they further go on Steve Smith and the host. I don't even know who he was, but I'm gonna call him the OG, the other guy. Um, he was talking about wide receiver coach Azani, who's not a good wide receiver coach, but a great wide receivers coach that don't get the credit that he deserves. We brought in a culmination of great, hard-nosed coaches that's going to get the best and pull their card if they have to. So I love that about it. So he was like, Kirk Cousins is the type of quarterback. So what you were saying is that he wants these receivers to run routes a very specific way, black and white, no gray area. Because like you said, if I expect you to be there, I'm gonna throw the ball where you're supposed to be. And if you're not there and it causes a turnover, I'm not throwing it to you no more.
Ella.
It's either black or white. You're gonna be there. And what Steve Smith was going on to say is Tre Tucker run a lot of gray routes. It didn't look too great in this first series that I saw. So I do have to see more, but the fact that I've seen it lets me know that it's there.
Oh yeah.
So Cousins is and if you're not there, if you're not in that spot, then Cousins is going to go somewhere else. And remember, I was saying that last week was you have to hurry up and get to your spot and flash, because if you don't get to your spot, Cousins is going to go to the person that's open. You
He
got
only
to
gets
get
two
to
and
your
a half
spot.
seconds.
What'd you say, bro?
He only gets 2.5 to 3 seconds.
So you got to get to your spot quickly. And what Smith was saying that Tucker thinks he's the number one receiver, and if he doesn't get these passes, it's going to affect his ego because he feels like he's the guy. Well, I don't really see that with Tucker or this wide receiver group. I mean, it could play a role a little bit, but not like it normally would. Because that's why that's why they're saying things like we're taking the I out of the vernacular. We're turning the me into we. So that way you're not working with your ego. Like just work harder, get open, because Kirk Cousins know where he want to go with the ball. So if you ain't where you're supposed to be, he's going on about his business.
Yeah, you can't blame him.
Yeah, you can't blame him. And one of the and so, but what he did say that I did agree with is Naylor, being the number 3 wide receiver, knows you have to hurry up and flash. You have to hurry up and flash to your position, because you're not going to get the ball if you're not open. Because if Justin Jefferson is out there and Hawkinson out there and Addison out there, and you that third wide receiver, if you plan on getting any kind of passes, you better hurry up and get open. And so that being that Naylor understands that, that is a positive and a net plus for Naylor, which I agree. But I just think that Tucker understands that as well too. And I'm seeing some good things out of Tucker.
Yep, me too. What up, Jack Hanna?
Kenna, what's good? Jack Gusto. So you got a flash. Like he was saying, like, you gotta hurry up and go get open, go yee yee. No, I used to do that. Like wide receiver, when you hurry up and get open, you do that to get the quarterback's attention. Now the coach was like, "Don't do that," because what it will do is if you're going through your reads and you hear your receiver do that, you will look, because you're gonna probably throw it to him. But I used to do it all the time. So shout out to my boy J3, because I used to do it with him all the time when I was playing receiver. So shout out to my boy J3. What's up to the nation? So this is when he brought in Malik Benson. He's calling him the training camp wild card. And one thing he said, that he's creating competition and competitive friction. That I do like. And that's what's been consistent with what Kubiak has been saying too. I want competition and the competitive friction, because what happens is it makes everybody play better. And I'm for that. And I'm glad to see this sixth round wide receiver flashing, because that means we're essentially got a steal. I keep saying we don't have just one or two steals in this draft. I think we stole the whole draft. Like they doing it like in Oakland in the Bay Area right now, when they just running in there stealing everything. They ain't stealing like candy bars no more. They stealing the whole store now. We stealing the whole draft. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we came through with a pretty good draft. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, so they're like, other wide receivers are like, well, how's this sixth rounder getting so much love? So he was saying essentially that the other wide receivers is gonna get jelly, and he was talking about Jack Bech.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guys, you know what I'm saying? He's basically saying what's going to end up happening is the two receivers are going to be Naylor and Benson. So you essentially just eliminated Tucker and Bech.
Right.
And I don't think our sixth round guy is there yet. He's trending, but I don't think he's there yet. Not to the point where you're going to sit there and say that he's going to take over for these two guys already. What you think about that? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
No, I don't think it's even close to being a fair assessment. I mean, last year, Thornton was trending really well in training camp and came out after the first game, and then we didn't see him for the rest of the year pretty much. So, and I'm not saying that's his fault or whatever, but, looking good in camp is one thing, looking good in the game is another. I didn't see him catch any catches in preseason yet, so I don't really know. But, maybe he'll catch a touchdown catch next game. I don't know. Maybe he'll come out here and show out. I don't know. But I haven't seen nothing really to me from him that says, yeah, he's better than Tre Tucker or Naylor or Bech. What I seen from Bech the other day was basically what I said what he was a 5, basically a 3 to 15 yard receiver that works in that area. That's where he lives. Like,
on third down.
He's not going to burn you deep. He's not a burner. He's a worker. He's a guy that'll box you out and go out and get a catch when you need it. That's what he does.
And his name now is officially known as Third and Bech.
Third and Bech.
I think he got 3 of his catches was on third downs.
Yeah, he was.
And that's essentially what he was doing last year. I mean, like I literally seen it. I mean, I get that he only had 20 catches, but we couldn't throw the ball at all. We couldn't block nothing.
Yeah, he's lucky that he got that many.
Yeah. So you're right. And so if we're gonna elevate Benson at this level, my question is, can he block? Can he block? I ain't heard nothing about him blocking. I see he catching the ball, but can he block? Because what I do see is Bech out there blocking. He out there blocking his tail off. And he was even doing that last year. I was going to do a video about that last year when people was trying to say how Bech wasn't good and all this. I was like, but all I do is see him running people off the screen, pancaking them at wide receiver. And one thing I promise you, if you're a wide receiver and you could block, they're going to put you on the field. And God forbid you could catch too. They can deal with the lack of separation. If you can catch the ball when it comes to you and you can block, they'll work with everything else. And now we're starting to see the fruition of that. And I hope people start, giving Bech a little bit more love. I get it. He's the second round pick, so you have this expectation level of him. But his rookie year, look what he had going on. Like we giving people passes, but we only giving certain people passes. Like I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. So, so can Benson block is my question. So S3, he met Bech. I guess they was at like a camp or something like that, and he said, "This is what he said." Let me just show y'all what he said, and I'm gonna get to the comments.
Jack came in hot. I was like, he ain't got it. He was saying the way he was talking. He was talking how some fans think I am. They're like, oh, Steve thinks. Jack didn't invent football.
First of all, what did you even say right there? Jack didn't invent that football. What was that? Why you over there talking about him? What would you say right
Well,
there?
you know, Steve thinks. Jack didn't invent football.
What do you say right there, Pizzle?
He said something about invite something to football. I don't know what the.
I don't
I
know
got.
what he said right there. Chat, can y'all tell me what he said right there? And he said that he essentially said that he saw Bech. He asked him, Steve Smith, like you said, he got little man syndrome. This is what I did love about Steve Smith, that he was out there fighting fools. He didn't care how big you was. He gonna fight you. All that. I love that
He's
about
gonna
him.
block you.
I really and he will ball out on you. Like I love that about Steve Smith. But see, what I'm thinking is this sounds a little more personal than anything because
Mhm.
it was like Jack Bech was like, bro, I don't care. I'm a big dog. I don't care what y'all say about me. I'm a big dog. And he felt some type of way and took it personal. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I think that he had that little man complex, and Besh went in there because he's a big guy.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So
You're right.
their whole little and he knows how Steve acts, and so he went in there, and Steve didn't like that shit.
Right.
That's the gist I'm getting from it, is that their
He says,
personalities clashed. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I'm getting too. He said Steve Smith just be hating on Jack Bech. Jack Bech can play. Yeah.
I agree. He can play. We seen him play last year, and we seen him play the other night.
So Steve Smith wanted to be the apex alpha, and then he walked up and Bech was like, little man Rico. He was like, you know what? I'll fight you. And he like, yeah, whatever. I'll sling you all around here. And he wasn't feeling talking about he ain't got it. You see how he looked like?
He
He was
just
like
put
he
his
was
arm out,
offended.
like you do them little kids when they're trying to punch you. You put your hand out and they're just swinging.
Right.
That's what he did to Steve Smith. He just.
So like so then he was like, so Steve Smith was like, well, if he was a 5th or 6th round pick, then this wouldn't be a conversation. And which I think he
That's
was trying to take.
disrespectful.
Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you,
That's,
bro. Hit the like button if you agree with Pizzle, y'all, because that's the way I took it. I thought it was a slight dig, but you was like, that's just straight up disrespectful.
disrespectful, bro. Telling me I should have been picked in the 6th round.
Yeah,
Who is
5th or
you?
6th round. Right.
Who
What's up,
is
Dark?
you? What up, Dark?
Right.
What's cracking with you? Good to see you.
Yeah, so hey, I'm glad you saw that the same way I saw that. So look, it was only his rookie season. What skills did he lack? That he was lacking the separation that everybody talking about? Well, we about to see some film where it looked like he was getting some separation. The other guy, the OG, was saying Benson is coachable. He's tough, responds to being coached hard, spent time with Mendoza, and can go vertical. Now, I can say the same thing about Bech, except for the non-vertical part. But we don't need him for that.
We don't need him to go vertical.
We don't need him to go vertical. So let's take a
We
look
need him
at
to
Jack
go
Bech.
underneath.
Right. Let's
Underneath
take
and
a look at Jack Bech.
draw those guys away from Bowers. That's what we're going to use him for.
So let's take a look at Bech. Bech runs an out route right here. Strong hands, because he could have got dislodged right there. It looked like it was man covered. This is what happened was Kirk Cousins, this is 3rd down. Kirk Cousins called audible. Or maybe he called like a switch on a route where one receiver at the bottom clears out and the slot runs out. Because look at the spacing. It's like about 9 yards between Bech and his defender.
Yep.
And then at the bottom of the screen, it's about like 6 or 7 yards from the receiver. So Cousins sees that we can get something underneath. So one guy clears out, the other guy runs the out. Watch what happened with Bech. Now the corner doesn't bail. The corner's looking at the quarterback because you see how he has his back to the defender, and then he breaks on the ball. He makes a good play, but Bech gets that good timing. Once again, what you say, Pizzle, it's all about the timing. And he has strong hands, and he's able to come down with the first down. Look, right, 2 yards past the first down.
All that dude did was exactly what he needed to do. He drove that corner off far enough for him to get the first down. That's all he needed to do, because he knew he was gonna. They knew that. I'm sure the guy who draws up that play knows that the corner's probably going to try and break on that ball.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't throw that pass, because it is if you do wait and throw that pass, it is a pick six. You see, he's breaking on it, right? So he was reading it. So that's definitely why that wide receiver ran him off just far enough where he can make that catch and get the first down. Easy.
Yep, just get to the sticks.
Yep.
Good point right here, Jack Kenna. The Raiders do need vertical guys. I agree. The reason is that's the reason why not to give up on Thornton. Exactly. See, I don't know what y'all be doing, or if y'all be on these other channels or whatever. I'll be trying to figure out what I'll be hearing, but when y'all come over here, y'all understand, y'all doing the education. Like, Raider fans used to be one of the most intelligent fans in the NFL. I've been questioning it the last few years, but I'm starting to see flashes of it again, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. He said Bech is going to do well. Bech always has strong hands. He just couldn't win at the line, and his routes aren't good. He literally a tight end. I don't know about the tight end part, but okay. Thanks, Jack Kenneth. Thanks for switching channels. Make sure y'all go to Pizzle's channel, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to run this channel up, man. Trying to run it up. So let's take a look at some more plays here. Now you see, now this is the part of the game that people don't like to focus on when it comes to wide receivers. Check out the circle. That's Bech coming inside now. Just watch him, just follow him. See how he go get his man? Look at him, drive him all the way over. Look at him. Now, and one thing I've noticed about Kubiak is if you block well as a receiver, he rewards you with a pass. Now look at this. Look at the release. Little mini outside release. Push him up the field. Stopping. Look, corner turns opposite direction. He thinking Bech might run a post or something like that, but he running towards the first down marker. Ball on time. Boom. First down. This is Bech going in motion. Watch what he does. Boom. This is that long run. See how he cleared that lane? It's a lot of people that make this run successful. Watch Bech go in motion. Watch how he go get this defender and watch what he does with him. Come here, boy. See that? See that? That's Bech. Now, granted, it was other people in there making blocks too. Fullback, lineman. But Bech, when you're a receiver, that's how you take a run from the second level that can be a home run, because Mike Washington, bad intentions is what I call him. He almost ran out that angle. Had he made like a little juke move or a stutter step, he might have been able to run by that guy, but he already ate so much, I guess he was a little full right there, and, he got his money. But watch this block by Bech. And this ain't nothing new, y'all. And you got to know who to go get, because you could have went and got that first guy, but that ain't his guy. Because he's already being blocked by the fullback. Watch Bech clear this lane. And great running by Mike Washington Jr. So remember what I said about when you making good blocks, the coach likes to reward you. So look at this, Bech in the slot. This is his perfect timing right here. You can't even defend this. Now watch how this happens though. See, Fernando takes the running backs, have them switch sides because what you want to do with the defense, you want the defense to slide over. See how it slides over? Just that one step, half a step and a half. Now the soft spot. You see where the soft spot is? Mendoza's going to get the ball and just throw it to the soft spot. Boom. Could nobody do nothing about it? All because of pre-snaps and all that. So Bech, get your money. Get your money, Bech.
Mm-hmm. Get your touchdowns. Get our first downs and our touchdowns. I told you, man. From 3 to 15 yards, he's going to be deadly.
So Benson, he can do similar routes as Bech, but can he block? Can he block? That's my question. Is his routes crisp? Because one of the knocks on Malik Benson was that he needed to work on his routes. It looked like he's worked on his routes a little bit, but he's more natural. And that's always been what I think that's why he dropped to the 6, because he has natural game ability, but there's going to be some things that he needs to work on. Like knowing who to go block and having the ability to block them all the way to the ground like that, that's going to take time for him to learn that. That's why I say he can't usurp Bech yet. Not to say it can't happen. I'm just saying, as of right now, to go as far as to say it's going to be Naylor and him and Tucker and Bech is going to be the odd man out, I'm thinking this sounds like hate to me. I love me some Steve Smith Sr., but it sounds like hate to me. And I'm going to call it the way I see it. So how do we explain the preseason, bro? We just looked at some film. How do we explain what Steve Smith is saying and what we see in the tape of game 1, bro?
Well, we just see it as it is. It's pure hate. Because obviously I don't know if maybe Kubiak or somebody watched that video and he's like, oh, all right, well, maybe we'll show him what's up. Because it just seemed like he just went out there and pretty much put on a clinic with the wide receivers that he was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Benson is not Tucker on blocks. Tucker's pound per pound the strongest dude. And that's probably why he felt some type of way, because Tucker Bech probably told Steve Smith, I'll throw you all over this field.
all over that. Oh yeah, all over this film room.
I think he's gonna have his hands full though if he do mess with Steve Smith, but yeah, but I think it does sound a little bit like hate. So, but to Steve Smith's S3, what he was saying is you don't have to win in this system though, you don't have to win the one-on-one battles. You do have to play well in this Kubiak system, which I think that's what we're going to do. That's why we weren't so hard pressed about getting the wide receiver 1, because we could always go get one next year. I don't think it was just our priority this year because we had so many holes to fill, and we filled a lot of holes. So that's just how I feel about that. So after all saying what he was saying about Bech, he said we're gonna keep Bech because he's a second-round pick. You know, he gets the guarantee money, and we don't want to eat that. And so you're essentially saying the second-round guy gonna be on the bench. I guess that's what you're saying, but that's not making sense to me. I think Bech is really gonna show his moxie this year, and he just essentially said that the Raiders are gonna be at the top of the 2027 draft, and we can go out and get another wide receiver. Let's look at these last comments by S3.
I would say the receiver out of South Carolina, I can't think of his name right now, gosh darn it, but he would be ideal since the Las Vegas Raiders will be up there. He'll be up there in the top 10 picking next year.
Hater. Hey, if you know anything about this picture right here in the chat, this is old school Raiders sitting on the helmet. Nobody used to do that. We don't even do it no more. I don't know if y'all know about that. I used to do it when I played. That's old school. But Steve Smith was talking about Nick Harbor, 6'5", 240 pounds. He's a track guy, got Olympic speed. But guess what his issue is? He needs work on his routes, separation in the intermediate zones, and learning how to master the route tree. So what are we talking about, Steve Smith? All the stuff that you sat here and tried to say what was wrong with these guys, you go and say, we need to bring this guy in. Like, it sounds like hate to me, man. I hate to say it, it just sounds like hate to me, man.
Well, I just don't think he understands the system, or maybe he does, and
He
maybe.
played in the system. He played in the system with his dad.
Well, then he's just being then he's just being a hater, because you don't need a true number one to run this thing. It's good to have somebody that is, right. It's great to have a Jerry Rice, but there was also a John Taylor. There was also other guys that were just as good, really, in my opinion. So, I mean, there's always going to be it's more than just one guy. Yeah, that's your go-to guy in searching. That's what I keep saying about a number one wide receiver. Doesn't mean he gets targeted always the most. It's when you get targeted in certain situations, because you're the pressure guy. You can handle the pressure and you can make the play that needs to be made. Not everybody could do that. Not everybody's made to take the last shot, the buzzer shot. Not everybody's made for that. Not everybody's meant to throw that last touchdown pass, or run that 10-yard run for a first down or whatever it might be. Not everybody's got it in them. Not everybody wants the ball on the last play because they can't handle the pressure. They don't want to. We lost because of me. They don't want. They don't want to deal with that. But the great ones want the ball.
Yeah, that's crazy. Whether I catch it or drop it, put it on me. I don't think I'm gonna drop it, but even if I do, I could deal with what comes with it. Because I'll be mad if I was open and you didn't throw it to me and you threw it to somebody else and they dropped it and then they fall apart emotionally. I would be like, you can throw it to me, man, because I'm gonna get it. I'm a big game hunter. Give it to me, man. Like, I want that. It's not pressure. It's a privilege to be in that situation where the quarterback can rely on somebody, and like, if I let this thing go, we got a good chance that we gonna make it happen right here. Let's go to the comments. Justice for 12 says Benson will get his routes down. Bech just like one of them all-purpose beast type of players in the making. He don't have to be the fastest or best route runner. I agree, 100%. Spytech already called 2026 the chances for all rookies last year that didn't really play to see what the Raiders have going into the 2027 draft, which is fair.
I agree. That's what we need to do because we don't know what else we need. We can't replace the whole lineup in 1 year. So what we got to take last year's draft and the pillars that we have, see what we got this year, and then if we don't like what we have, we get rid of what we don't like, and we draft what we need. And we do that the year after that too, because we're going to have contracts coming up, and people that aren't going to be able to be on the Raiders anymore. Or I don't know what's going to happen, but there's certain stuff that's coming down the pipe.
First person act up, first one getting drug out. He said, Black, you don't like the Thornton take? Please explain. No, I love the Thornton take. I've been beating the drum of, we're not going to get rid of Thornton. Like, Thornton, I've been saying this for the longest time. The reason why Thornton is essential is because he creates spacing on the field. Like, he doesn't have to always get the ball. It's the mere fact that he can run down the field faster than anybody. And if you leave him one-on-one, you can throw him the ball. And then if worst case scenario, you're going to have the safety have to stay true up top, which allows space for Brock Bowers to work underneath, which allows space for Bech to work underneath. So we need Thornton. I just think that Thornton needs to show up. I mean, like he worse than mental reps at this point because at least mental reps is showing up in practice, and he had a sack today, by the way, too. And I
Oh
love me
yeah,
some mental reps, but Keyron
finally.
Crawford, huh?
Yeah, I know who mental reps is, but
No, I know you do, but some people might not know in the chat. Yeah, because we was there when we named them. Me and you named them mental reps. Yeah,
yeah,
so I like Dante Thornton a lot. Honestly, I just hope I just need him to get on the field. I mean, I get it's a hamstring or something like that, but we need you to everybody out there fighting, man. Because Bech was in the hot seat. He had the microscope on him, and you do as well, Thornton. It's just the fact that Bech is producing. Who's had Thornton? I mean, had Bech not been producing, they would have been talking about both of y'all.
yeah,
It'd been like that whole wide receiver draft last year. Throw it out the window.
yep,
So we're just waiting for you to show up, bro. I am anyway.
yeah. Hopefully he does show up and show out because Dante Thornton, we have high expectations for this guy. There's only two other guys that have his acumens, so and they turn out to be Hall of Famers. So not that's got to be a lot of pressure. But you would think if he has the same attributes as these guys did, then we should be getting some production out of him.
Right.
We're not getting no production, and that's a
Right.
problem. I mean, look, and I understand that last year, whatever, that's last year's coaching. So this year is going to be different, So I expect us to see him on the field a lot more. But if he can't catch the ball, it's going to be a problem.
You ain't lying. I agree. Justice for 12. He says we have three vertical guys: Tucker, Thornton, and Benson. Dark, you hit the nail on the head. We are. You said we are emotionally driven, not logically equipped fans for the most part, and I hate that. I hate that we're like that. I can't stand that we're like that. Raiders first down. Who's the sponsor of the show that gave up the jewels today? Thank you. I don't know, that sounded kind of weird, but thanks for the jewels. He said, listen, Raider Nation, a 37-and-a-half-year-old quarterback dices your best defense in practice for 5 touchdowns. Not bad throws. Kind of hard not to ride with him until further notice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because had he been out there not doing it, y'all would have been talking about how geriatric he is.
Hella, he needs to retire. We got to put him in Mendoza now.
Right.
He's competent. Like I said, he won 4 games in a row last year before the end of the season. We ain't won 4 games in a row since 2018. So just put that in your hat, your pipe, and smoke it.
Right. Nando just needs to take advantage of the situation and perfect the small pieces before you have to eat the whole cake. And you know what? The thing that I saw from Mendoza, it let me know that, you know what? When he do get into the game, I feel confident that he's not trying to figure stuff out.
Thank you.
All we need for him to do now is just learn. We just need him to learn and get better. And I don't anticipate him, if he sits a whole year, next year, well, he's going to be a beast. Barring that we win 8 or 9 games or like that, I'm confident if we put him on the field, I'm cool with it. But if we win 8 or 9 games, we better run with Kirk Cousins because we will be on a run for sure. Because imagine being second year in this offense, and this offense just now getting going, and this O-line.
Yeah, Justice for 12 hit it on the head right here.
What do you say?
He said, I'm worried about the defense. Yeah, you and me both.
Oh, yeah, well, we ain't gonna, hold on, I'm work my way back to that, because me and Pizzle be arguing about that. Me and Pizzle argue about that. Let's see, let me get the last couple comments before we jump off the BART. It says, Steve ain't lying. Naylor is our best receiver. For this offense. He ain't some elite route runner, but on this roster, he is by far. Now, I would say that Naylor may be the best receiver that we have, but I won't go as far as to say by far. How can you even make that assertion when he ain't never even had more yards than Tucker?
Yeah, that's a pretty big statement right there. But and like I said, and that guy works with better quarterbacks than Tucker's played
True.
with. So
True.
I mean, like I said, this is going to probably be a really big year for Tucker if Kirk Cousins shows his competency like he is right now. If he's as competent as he's going to be right now, all during the season, I think we're going to have a good year. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
Right.
The quarterback play is the difference in this league. I know no one wants to believe that, but it really is.
Yeah, absolutely it is. That's why it was imperative that Kubiak went out and got Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Hey, he said Thornton has turned into a Chaz Shillings. You know what? I used to like Chaz, and I was just hoping that he would turn the corner. He just never did. Let me see. Let's see. He's not. He's going to be running downfield all game. He's not saying he's going to be running downfield. He's not saying he's going to be running downfield all game, but consistently he's not going to be able to get open intermediate, especially in man. They don't run. First of all, teams don't run man all the time. I just sat here and I just played 2 plays where he got open. You don't think they're going to ever run similar defenses like that? Cover 2, cover 3 sometimes. I think if you put him in the position and you dial it up, it's going to happen. He's not going to be. I'll even go this far to say that he'll run more immediate routes than he does clear out routes. Because first of all, you don't want your 5'9" guy the one taking the top off the defense. For one,
No.
your 5'9" guy shouldn't be the one taking the top off the defense. Because even if he do get out there and it's him and the safety can out jump the 5'9" guy because Tucker ain't about to stop and jump. You gotta throw it where he can just catch it and keep on running. Or even if he do catch it in cover 2, he get hit. He gets separated from the ball. So you don't want your 5'9" guy taking the top off the defense. You saying something? My bad.
No, absolutely not. Go ahead.
Kenny, you were right. Charles Grant was in the spot and opened up the hole for Washington for the big run. He did. He had to get to the second level. Just like, and Charles Grant, this is another player that I keep talking about, that I'm going to have to talk about him on film too. But yeah, Grant went and cleared out his guy, and so did the fullback. But what I'm saying is how you turn a 9-yard, 10-yard run into a 50-yard run is when your receivers are blocking downfield.
Mm-hmm.
In this offense, we need everybody to block. That's what I'm saying. Everybody at every level. And if we have that, we're going to have 50-yard run. You don't think Genty going to be bopping? He going to bop too.
I hope so.
Yeah. This is for 12. Excellent point. If teams don't know who our number 1 wideout is, that could be an advantage for us. Yeah. Yeah, so who do we play next? We play the Texans.
Yeah.
All right, let me let's wrap this up. What's up with Furpo? We the people. Thanks for popping up. He said all short routes low to the ground. Let me go to the let's talk about here we go. Right now, my biggest worry is the cornerback room. Pretty sure Love only had 6 yards when the starting D line was in there. Well, that's we the people saying that. So I think and another thing was that we have an issue with our defense so far. Pizzle, how you feel about it? I don't never want to hate on your take when it comes to the defense.
I mean, I know it's the preseason is their first game playing together. The corners and the safeties got picked on a little bit, but that's what I expect that to happen all year, anyways, with these rookies. because that's what they do, right? I mean, that's what you do with rookies. You come at them until they can shut it down, and once they shut it down, then you go pick on the other guy.
Yeah.
Same thing with quarterbacks.
He said mental reps. Let's see what he do this upcoming preseason game. Yeah, I got my eye on mental reps.
Both show we do.
He said, look how they did Jamad McCoy. They did do my boy J-Mac kind of bad.
Yeah, they chewed him up.
Last comment here from Justin for 12. Colin Coward was hating this morning as well. He got us beating the Dolphins and losing the next 5 straight until we meet the Jets. Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We're gonna see.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
We're gonna see in a minute. We're gonna see.
Yeah, it's about to happen pretty soon. So hey, all right,
wait and
it's
see.
all good.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, hurry up and buy. Yeah, hey, so you guys, make sure you guys hit the like button so we can get this, because it looks like I'm starting to get back in the algorithm because you guys popped up like the ice cream truck. So I'm loving that part because I couldn't go live because Max Crosby of the Raiders Sphere was doing too much. I was going on 2 or 3 times a day, and this boy Pizzle was trying to tell me, but I didn't want to listen, so I had to slow down a little bit. Now you guys are actually getting the notifications. I'm glad to see the regulars back. I appreciate it, Pizzle. You know I got so much love for you. Thank you, my brother. Thank y'all for hacking into the show. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty. There's only one nation. That's the Raider Nation. Y'all already know that. So, hack back in when we do it because I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. You a Raider.
All right.
Whether we from the Bay, to LA, to Las Vegas. I'm going to write that out.
If you're not a fan, what it do? Marshawn Lynch said, I'm a Raider.